Welcome to the Startup Funding Espresso. I'm Hall T. Martin, where we talk about how to raise funding and invest in startups and the time it takes to drink an espresso. If you have a question about startup funding or investing, please go to the website, startupfundingespresso.com, and type in your question into the chat bot in the lower right corner to receive an answer. I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello, this is Hall T. Martin with the Startup Funding Espresso, your daily shot of startup funding and investing. Investor introductions can be helpful in connecting with new investors. Here's an example of a good introduction. I noticed this investor funded a company with the same business model, sector, and metrics as mine. Coming to your area next week, can you make an introduction? This shows there's a match between the startup and the investor. Here's an example of a bad introduction. I'm in the area this week. Who do you know that I can meet? This shows there's no match between the startup and the investor. Here's an example of an ugly introduction. Can you introduce me to a brand name VC? This shows there's no match between the startup and the investor, and it demonstrates vanity on the part of the founder. In making an introduction, include the reason why there's a match, the purpose of the meeting, and how best to make an introduction. Offer content for the introduction, and finally, offer to return the favor. Thank you for joining us for the Startup Funding Espresso, where we help startups and investors connect for funding. Let's go start listening to today. Hall T. Martin is the director of Investor Connect, which is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to the education of investors for early-stage funding. All opinions expressed by Hall and podcast guests are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinion of Investor Connect. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon as a basis for investment decisions.